It's early October. That means it's the perfect time for a thrift adventure. We don't have a ton of great thrift stores where we live, so when we go, we make a day of it. The road trip lets us enjoy the fleeting fall scenery. Today, we're visiting 11 thrift stores in 8 hours across Connecticut, chasing fall vibes and the hope of finding some treasures. This time of year, the stores start putting out their Halloween stock, and maybe, just maybe, we'll uncover a little bit of that vintage magic that's been haunting my social feeds lately. Of course, you never know what you'll find when you're thrifting, and that's half the fun. First stop of the day, the Oxford Goodwill. There's no missing the Halloween season here. You can spot plenty of orange popping from the shelves. While this store does a decent job of grouping Halloween items together on end caps and in seasonal sections, I still like to wander every aisle. You never know what treasures other shoppers may have picked up and set down somewhere random, and sometimes those are the best finds. I did spot a pink blinky bucket, and since yellow was the half off color of the day, this little guy was only $2. I love stacking these into towers and displaying them under my Halloween tree. The black cat pumpkin ghost combination is one of my favorites, but this piece is a no for me today. There were plenty of treat bucket options today, though I passed on the witch's brew as I already have that one in my collection. You can never have too many cute Halloween socks. This little scarecrow wall plate was adorable, but not the vibe I'm looking for today. I did think about bringing this seascape home since I like the moody colors. However, I left it for someone who will love it as is because I'm holding up for a smaller one to get a little crafty with. I spotted this unusual piece. It looks like carved wood, but it's actually a resin made to look like wood. I like the detail and couldn't leave this one behind. We're at the next stop, and that brings me to my first thrift tip. If you can, go thrifting with a friend. My husband's my thrifting partner, and when we get to a store, we head in different directions. We both know what the other is hunting for, so we can divide and conquer. It makes the day more efficient and honestly more fun. You cover more ground, share more laughs, and sometimes your partner spots the hidden gem you might have missed. I definitely didn't need another mug. But come on, a blackout and pumpkins? That's basically irresistible. And hey, it's 25 years old, so that means it counts as vintage, right? Tip number 2, know your measurements. While this was cool art, what we needed was a frame, and this is a bargain way to get large frames. Had to stop recording to dig out my measuring tape to see if this would work. I don't have a lot of room to display spooky village pieces, but if it's the perfect one, I'd make room. I'm passing on this one today. Tip number 3, consider item potential. Sometimes an item's potential is greater than the item itself. This weird, broken articulated snake was just $1.99 and probably headed straight for the landfill. But with a new paint job and a little imagination, it's going to look right at home tucked into the tropical plants of the Tiki room. This aisle had some good finds. I found a lovely oval brass frame with little feet, and we also spotted a vintage Disneyland ashtray. We don't smoke, but we already have the matching Disney World one in our collection, so this was a must-have. Latch hook and Grogu was the combination I didn't know I needed, but I did leave this one behind. Most thrift stores have at least a small section for craft supplies, but today I lucked out and found some fabric. I don't have an exact project in mind yet, but I know how this goes. If I leave it behind, I'll think of the perfect idea tomorrow and regret not picking it up. So for $6.99 for the whole roll, I decided to grab it. These giant marble egg bookends look like dragon eggs. Tip number 4, check items for damage. Always check for damage. I really like the glaze on this pot, but the chips were too big to overlook. Sometimes you've got to admire it and move on. I love to read, but I also like hardcover books for their aesthetics. Some of these Everest and Rome books were very visually appealing. Now we're popping into our first savers of the day, and they have a lot of Halloween out. Which brings me to tip number 5. Put it in your cart. If you are at all interested in an item, put it in your cart and continue shopping. If it's a maybe and you leave it on the shelf, it may not be there when you decide it's a yes and go back for it. So save yourself the disappointment and put it in your cart. Take time to look it over and make a decision. Passed on this Benihana style fangirl mug, already have it. And passed on this Tiki, because that's just not good Tiki. This Mickey Mouse Jelly Belly dispenser was a lot of fun, but it was missing mouse ears that should have gone on top, and we don't really need it, so left it behind for someone who would love it. I both love and hate the goodie bags at Savers. They take some time, you've got to move them around, peek through the plastic, and figure out what's actually grouped together. But if you're patient, you can find some pretty amazing treasures hiding in there. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I think it's a piece of Mexican pottery, maybe a plant stand. Either way, I love the colors, so in the cart it goes. I've always liked these labyrinth puzzle games. He clearly knows what kind of day we're having. These Department 56 pieces were priced surprisingly well, way better than what I've seen on eBay. I was tempted to grab a few for my Halloween setup, but I'm trying really hard not to start another collection. What are the chances? I had just picked up the matching black cat and pumpkins mug at an earlier thrift store, so I was very tempted to pick up these plates. Realistically, I would not use them, so I kept them as a maybe for a bit before putting them back. Next up, a full wall of goodie bags. There's no way to go through them all, so I'm using the best strategy I know, look for orange. These caught my eye right away, not sure how old they are, but they've got that vintage Halloween feel I'm always hoping for. If anyone wants to start a Department 56 or Spooky Village Halloween Village, hit your thrift stores. Of course, I had to take a peek at the fabric section. There were plenty of options to choose from at this Savers. And look what else I found. Disney garden flags for every season. It's rare to see a set this complete, so they must have just put them out. You know the Halloween one isn't staying behind. With a quick browse of the table linens and a fast flip through the records, that's about all I have time for here at Savers. On to the next stop. Hamden hit us with Halloween right inside the door. This guy's more parakeet than parrot, but he's a maybe. Into the cart he goes for now. And it looks like we have our first vintage tiki find of the day, an Orchids of Hawaii Ku tiki mug. We don't have this one in the collection, so that's a definite yes. These Pyrex beakers were giving me ideas for a mad scientist display, and they would be cool props for any science-based party or haunt. Hamden's Goodwill always has packed shelves, which brings me to tip number 6, circle back around. I'll often go through an aisle twice or even more. In fact, I'll approach from an opposite direction, because you may notice something you completely missed the first time. Plus, new treasures can appear as workers restock or other shoppers move things around. This handcrafted bowl was interesting. Passing back through an aisle, I take a moment to admire this cool projector. There was something compelling about this mixed metals vase, but I left it behind for another shopper. Tip number 7, check out the cases. Many thrift stores have display cases or shelves near the register where they keep the items they consider more valuable or fragile. It only takes a minute to look, and you never know what hidden gems might be waiting inside. You can tell the temps are getting cooler. The sweater and jacket aisles were packed. Saw this spot of orange from across the way, but not really what I'm looking for today. This cat basket would be great with folk art Halloween, but Again, not really what I'm looking for. Another Tiki mug find, this one from the old Jekyll and Hyde Club. It's a maybe for now. We already have a few of these in different glazes and shelf space is limited. Unlike Pokemon, you can't collect them all. This weird little planter made me smile. Brought it forward in hopes that it would find a home. Very cool pair of lamps. We continued browsing, but didn't find anything else amazing that we had to have. Using tip number 8, edit your cart, we left the Jekyll and Hyde mug behind. Even when you find something cool, it doesn't always come home with you. We try to edit our cart before checkout, considering space, budget, or just making sure it's something we really love. And honestly, leaving it behind gives someone else the thrill of discovery too. The Newington Savers had a bunch of interesting bric-a-brac. The graphics on this decanter were fun and would be a worthy addition to any pirate-themed bar. Don't forget to look up interesting masks, not Tiki. The pumpkin bucket caught my eye way more than the Annalie doll itself. I don't collect them, but it's a maybe. I like the glaze on this picture, but it's a no for me today. I was disappointed that this wasn't an actual candle. It would have been much better if it was, instead of a water bottle. This was an actual candle, and I like the bats, but I wasn't as keen on the skulls, so left that behind for another Halloween hunter. Vintage Troll Dracula. And Frank. I didn't have a particular picture for this frame, but I found it very lovely, so I put it in the cart as a maybe. Another wall of goodie bags. Let's see if we can find any orange. There were a few things, but not as many good options as at the last Savers. The hunt continues. This Savers had a Creep It Thrifted section where they had combined clothing and accessories of certain types together to make it easy to thrift your Halloween costume, either as a basis for DIY or just putting something together. The colors and textures here felt kind of modern witchy or whimsigoth. In this section, it was pick your poison of prints. All sorts of animal prints and polka dots. As always, I'm going to check the craft kits and patterns. Patterns at a thrift shop are significantly cheaper than they are in a craft store. And you may find patterns for some cool vintage styles. If you didn't want to DIY your Halloween costume, they had plenty of just plain old Halloween costumes as well. Or grab a pattern, grab some fabric, and make your own costume. All the options are available. I regret not getting this green fabric, even though I have no use for it. I think it may have been silk just based on the feel. But I did like this blue fabric. I thought it might make a nice pair of stays for a Renaissance fair, so I picked that up. I did a quick check of the table linens. I'm looking for some table runners for fall or Halloween. This one had potential if I was doing more of a witchy vibe. Not this year, so I left it behind. A theme I was noticing with the Goodwills was that they were using donated items in their own store decor. I did enjoy seeing the stores embracing the Halloween spirit, but in some stores it was disappointing that those items weren't on the shelves for sale. Rocky Hill is a small store in terms of home goods. This was the only item I found during this visit that was interesting. The quartz crystals were cool. The metal leaves, I considered getting it to repaint the green leaves black and the pink flowers purple to make it more spooky. In the end, I did end up putting it back just because that was a project that I didn't need. Now we're in Glastonbury. Grabbing a cart in hopes that we can fill it with treasures. And right inside the door again, there was another Halloween section. Costumes, accessories, and then donated items of home goods. I'm a sucker for good glaze. I had to check out this pot. No price sticker on it, so I set it back. Interesting, but not coming home today. Right inside the door of Manchester, they had their Halloween items, as well as another display where many items were not for sale. Some were, but not all. Some nice items, but nothing really vintage that caught my eye. If you needed Halloween decor, there was definitely plenty here to choose from, depending on what style or vibe you're going for. But so far, nothing catching my fancy. They had plenty of end caps of Halloween as well. This bottle was interesting. Not Halloween, not spooky, kind of old, or at least old looking. Do you like scary movies? They curated some for you. Lots of lovely autumn colored glassware. I could have put together quite the display. Aw, look at this little coconut cutie. Sadly, this little piggy bank was missing a leg. More beakers. These were plastic. But maybe the universe is trying to tell me something. Should I do a mad scientist display? Tell me it's past back to school season without telling me it's past back to school season. Apparently, it was also the 30th anniversary of Clueless. Whatever. This dragon mug screamed Renaissance Fair. I didn't need it, so I left it. I do love Totoro, but these water bottles were too small for me. It's a shame that this lamp had some broken bits on the base. It was pretty, but also left this behind. We're in the last thrift store of the day, so it's time for tip number 9, rewards and savings programs. Check your local Goodwills. Some offer rewards programs where you earn extra discounts after spending a certain amount, or special savings during your birthday month. Many also run weekly tag sales like yellow tags half off. At Savers, donated items can earn you a discount right away, and you can also sign up for text or email coupons. Some stores even give you coupons for completing the surveys printed on your receipt. There are lots of little ways to score extra savings, and they really add up over time. One last goodie bag wall to check. Fingers crossed there's something good in here. Okay, not Halloween related, but our vintage poo poo set is missing a dish, and I think these might just be the right size to complete it. Looks like we've found the makings of our next tiki bar lighting project. I thought this serving dish might make a cool backdrop for a little tiki mask. Great color and texture. But since I don't have anything that fits just yet, I'll leave it for someone else to discover. This ship could totally work as a pirate bar prop, or add a little tattered creepy cloth and you've got yourself a Halloween ghost ship. This decanter is serving full autumn vibes. This fun Libby glass covered in Hawaiian fun facts is a solid maybe. I love the kitschy charm. Our shopping trip is winding down, so it's time for tip number 10. Check the bins. Staff sometimes roll out fresh bins of new items, and it's totally fine to peek in and see if there are any treasures waiting. In most stores, it's acceptable, and honestly, it can even save staff time if you spot something before it hits the shelf. I didn't get it on film, but we actually found a few great pieces this way. I'll show those in the haul at the end. We had a wonderful day out thrifting through Connecticut on a beautiful fall day.
It was crisp in the morning, warmer in the afternoon, so you had to do the layers. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. But we did find some treasures to bring home, so let's take a look. First up, we're going to take a look at what I found for Halloween. You may remember my black cat and pumpkin mug from one of the first thrift shops. This was only $1.99. Markings on the bottom call it Pumpkin Dreams. It was just really adorable, and there's not much more to say than that. I did not get the plate set that I saw later at the Savers. I know myself, I use the same plates every day. I would not use them if I had them, so it didn't feel like I should bring those home. I left them for someone else to love. But I have the mug. In the Hamden Goodwill's jewelry case, I found these Sugar Skull Dia de los Muertos style earrings. They were only $1.99. They're just fun to wear spooky earrings or festive earrings during the season, so I couldn't pass these by. Next, in the Savers goodie bags, I found these Spooky Town cat figures. They were $3.99 at Savers. They have the original price tag of $7.99. They have a 2011 copyright. I'm just going to use them to incorporate into my holiday decor, so they're cute to have. Next was another goodie bag find at Savers. $3.99 for these little figurines. Oh, that's adorable. Let's see if there's any markings. There may be a name on this. I will, if I find anything about this from some research, I will let you know. Editing me will pop it up on the screen, but that little guy is pretty cute. I love owls. Put him over here. Then there's the ghost with the spooky tree and the pumpkin face down there. Very cute. Could be a hobbyist piece. I'm not seeing any dates or signatures, but if I can find something, again, I'll pop that on the screen. In the one clip, I ran across every holiday or seasonal notation: New Year's, Christmas, Happy Fall, Easter. It's a double-sided flag. Couldn't pass it by for the $1.99. This wreath is just fun for adding in for the fall decor. It was $1.99. I can either use it as the wreath or consider taking it apart for the picks and add this in, but I just thought it was nice as either itself or as the raw materials, so I picked it up. The next one is vintage. It's Blinky Products. It's pink, not my normal Halloween colors, but I think I did show, or I will show in the video, how I like to display these. If I have multiple ones with different faces and different shades of pink, I will stack them in a pink tower. I know I have that this year with some black buckets and some purple buckets, so I just like that aesthetic of stacking them up into like little bucket totems, and they are just fun to have. It's he's very cheerful. This is a General Foams cauldron bucket. I'm not sure if you'll be able to make out the detail, but there's a witch, there's fire going all around the bottom. This was $1.99 at the Savers. I will do some research. I do have other cauldrons. I have just the plain black cauldron, the black cauldron with the witch's brew, but I hadn't seen this shape before, so I thought that would be a great addition to my collection. And if I find any information on it, I will pop that on the screen. And those were all my Halloween finds, so we'll move on to Tiki. In our Tiki bar, we have a Disney section, we have more of a nautical section, we have a Maori section, a Moai section, a Papua New Guinea section. We have various themes and various vignettes to fit in that. So some of these may seem a little outside of the Tiki realm, but really for us it's things that we enjoy to really tie into the escapism of Tiki. So that's why some of these, just stay with me here. We can start with the mugs and glassware. Found a Libby Hawaii Fun Facts mug. I will put any information on the screen. This was $2.49. It talks about being the 50th state. It talks about pineapples, King Kamehameha, hibiscus, the land of aloha. Just the graphics are pretty dang cool, so we brought that one home to add into the Hawaii section. Next we have the Orchids of Hawaii Ku style mug. This one is in a black glaze. Very good shape, no chips or anything. This was $2.99. Next was one of the goodie bags that was kind of a wild card. It was $3.99 and it came with a candle holder. Great, because they bundle a bunch of things together. This is fine, but not particularly interesting. But the monkey pod dishes that were in there were really caught my eye. We have one of those tall wooden poo-poo platter serving where it has the graduated sizes of dishes, and it's been missing one this size for quite some time. Brought it home. This size did fit. This is a little deeper color than the wood that is currently for the rest of the set, but the fact that it no longer has a missing piece was a win. So I'll hang on to these in case we run across something else, but it was great to complete something that we already had with a thrifted find. Next I have this Disneyland ashtray. This was $1.99 and we picked this up because we already had the Disney World version. It just got great graphics again. The Mark Twain steamboat. It's a small world. You know, Jungle Cruise up there. I'm not sure if there's any, again, value to these, but any information I find on the value of these objects, I will share on the screen. But for us, we don't resell, it just goes into the collection and the displays. Next up is an unconventional Tiki find. It is this plant stand or ginger jar stand. It was $3.99 for some of the bigger scorpion bowls or mugs. It's nice to just have a stand so that you can raise things up and provide layers. So I'm always on the hunt for these for that purpose. It just allows you to see things better and lets your eye bounce across the items. So that's your tip. Ginger jar or plant stands that are really cool looking are great for Tiki mugs as well. Next we found these candle holders, I guess. They have the candle, and they were $4.99 each, but I think these would make awesome hanging fixtures. We can take some top of cloth, get that inside to diffuse the light bulb, add some chain, put in a bulb, and then I think these would be really cool, either as pendant style or even flush mount them or make them look sort of like the fish trap style. So these were just great project pieces because I need more projects. But yeah, good find at $4.99 each. And that was before coupon. I think we ended up getting 30% off all items that day. So even better. We found this at the Manchester Savers in one of the stocking bins as they were pulling out new items. and it is a Trader Mickey commemorative plate, $6.99. It came with a little plate stand, but this is too much. Based on the back, it was a limited edition porcelain plate. This is number 1414 out of 15,000, made in Japan. But the fact that it had the Trader Mickey's and the Jungle Cruise motif made this a definite yes. So that was a score for us. Now you saw this next one in the orange Goodwill, and yes, it's a bit out there, but it's just so cool. It reminded us of the snake that hangs in the tree on the Jungle Cruise ride. So I think if we give this guy a more, oh my God, the ASMR. Keep him quiet. I think if we give this guy more of a subtle paint job and mount this end on a wall to make him sort of faux taxidermy, if the air hits him, he'll move a little, and that's going to be kind of cool. I think if we can make it work, it'd be kind of cool. But I'd wish the whole one was there. He's just half, but we might have been the only people who were willing to take a shot on this one in the thrift store. So we saved this guy from the landfill likely, and he's pretty dang cool. So no regrets. Next we'll go over some random bits and bobs, the last of our haul for this Connecticut trip. In the Hamden Goodwill, I found this amethyst pendant for $1.99. It had a cool design on the back, but really I loved amethyst, and that's going to be a pretty good sized pendant. At one of the Savers, I found this awesome elephant brooch with the mixed metals. I just liked him. Looks like he's got a marking of JJ on the back. So I will fill in any information on the screen. But again, to go with I was on a very Jungle Cruise mood apparently when we were shopping for our Tiki and Halloween adventure. But yeah, I think he will be pretty awesome to wear. This was another Manchester Savers stocking bin find for $2.99. It's a hand-carved wooden rocket ship or spaceship, so that's sort of the exhaust. This will just go on, I think, my husband's work desk. It's just a really fun and unique piece. So that was a happy find at a very reasonable price, and the wood is just beautiful. I'm not sure what kind of wood it is, but it is fantastic. Solid brass frame, $2.99. I like the little feet. This camera is not going to do it justice, but I've had this sitting on my dining room table since we purchased it. We got it for $6.99. And the morning light comes through this warm ambery color. It's fantastic. So you can see how well it works in an autumn type display. Yeah, this was just one of those random, don't need it, but I wanted it, so I picked it up. Just a beautiful piece to add to any decor. These amazing pieces are stone bookends. There's a little flattened side over here. So that's why I'm gonna definitely go with that. They were meant to be bookends, and they are heavy. They were $5.99 each, but the colors are phenomenal. I mean, they need a little cleaning up, but they didn't have any chips, so they came home. So honestly, look at these things. They look like dragon's eggs. I know it's ridiculous, but he's adorable, and I love Toothless, so he will be fun to add to my desk, maybe to put spools of thread in. Who knows, but I couldn't not. So he came home. I'm gonna say he was a popcorn bucket, would be my guess. But again, any information will be on the screen. Too cute, had to come home. Here is another plant stand, is what I've kind of landed on. Plant stand. I don't think it was a planter. The inside's not glazed, it's all raw. So I'm pretty sure it was meant to be a plant stand. I happen to have a sugar skull planter, which I think would look awesome on this, just to tie into the colors and the theming. So I picked it up for $6.49. This I found off camera. It is a bay pottery vase. It's marked bay on the bottom. It was $5.99. I will probably use this to put pencils, paintbrushes, that sort of thing in it for my craft desk. But the glaze was beautiful. The blues, the purples. I am a sucker for good glaze, so I picked this one up to just really repurpose as a pencil slash paintbrush holder. I picked up this fabric for $5.99. I'm not quite sure how much yardage is there, but I do have a Ren Fair pair of stays or bodice that I have in mind to make, so this felt very appropriate for that. It's a lighter weight fabric, so even though it looks like a heavier brocade or tapestry weight, it is pretty light, so I think it will be perfect for that without being too heavy and hot on those warm summer Ren Fair days. Then there was this one, which I walked away from a couple times and kept going back. This was $6.99 for the entire roll that's left. There's a fair amount here. I haven't taken it off to clean it or measure it yet, but who knows what I'll get up to with this one. I just felt that if I left it there, I would then find the perfect project for it and be sad that I didn't get it at such a wonderful price. So it came home. For $7.99, I found this panel. It's wood colored. It's not wood. I think it's a resin, some sort of composite material perhaps. I think I know what I'm going to do with it. I think it's going to become part of my kitchen decor. I'm not sure if I will leave it the wood tone or if I will paint it. It was very neat. I'd never seen anything like it, and I think the price was very reasonable for a piece of art. So that will add into decor. This last find is obviously going to chew up the scenery because it's pretty big. It is a really, really cool piece of art, but we really purchased this for the raw materials. It's for the frame. The frame is the perfect size for a large piece of art we have, plus a small mat. I don't know of any framing shops that will get you a large format frame plus the glass for $9.99. This was a great find. When you're at thrift shops, you need to look past what the item is. The art is really cool in here. I don't discount that. But really, the frame and the glass is where the value is at for us. So we knew our measurements. I always carry a measuring tape, and we were able to find something for $9.99 that we needed. And now we can get the other piece of art matted and in the frame and get it up on the wall. Thank you, friends, for joining me on this thrifty adventure day. Let me know in the comments, what was your favorite find, or did I leave something behind that you definitely would have picked up? If you enjoyed this adventure, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing to help my corner of the internet grow. Take care, and I'll see you soon with more thrifting, crafting, Halloween, and Tiki adventures.